These are 10 of my favourite 20-minute meals. Welcome back to Table for One, the show for solo cooks who want to bring extra joy to their kitchens. If you are new here, then hi, I'm Eleanor, a recipe developer, cookbook author, and creator of One Pot, One Portion, the series for people who cook, eat, or live alone and are tired of washing up. I know that cooking for one can be hard. It can be so hard to find the motivation to cook when it's just you, and don't get me started on the washing up. Doing the dishes alone is the worst. But I'm a firm believer that if you are eating alone, you still deserve to eat something so delicious, and it's my job to make that as easy and enjoyable for you as possible. I've developed almost 150 single-serve, one-pot meals on my social media, plus an extra 100 in my cookbook. But today I wanted to highlight 10 of my favorite 20-minute meals, because you're not having to put in so much work to get the end result. Included in this list we have my life-changing pasta. We've got creamy, cozy and comforting dinners, fresh and satisfying salads, and a couple of extra special dinners. But number 10 is my favourite, so make sure you stick around to the end to find out what that one is. Let's get started. In at number 1, we have my Marry Me Chickpeas. These one-pan Marry Me Chickpeas are a quick and easy weeknight dinner that is super cozy, super comforting, and super satisfying. There's a reason they're called Marry Me Chickpeas, so make it for yourself or double it up to feed somebody that you love. But if you ask me, I say don't forget to show yourself the love that you would show somebody else. And just because it's easy doesn't mean it is not completely delicious. In at number 2, we have my creamy chicken and chorizo orzo. This creamy chicken and chorizo orzo is the perfect 20-minute meal for when you want something to feel a little bit extra special. I really think we should all be romanticizing cooking for one, because it really is such a joy, especially when it's so easy. Put on your favorite playlist and just set aside a little bit of time to make yourself something nice. I would highly recommend this recipe. It is so easy to cook, but it actually tastes like you've been cooking for hours. The chorizo brings flavor and richness, and then we're adding red peppers, tomato puree, smoked paprika, and the result is actually somewhat reminiscent of the flavors of a paella or paella, but in a pasta form. And orzo is everybody's favorite pasta shape, so that just makes it even better. Coming in at number 3, we have my Korean vegetable pancake. As you might have guessed, this vegetable pancake has its origins in Korea, and it's the perfect dish to use up any odds and ends of leftover vegetables lying around, because I know that when you're cooking for one, you don't always end up using the whole cabbage or the whole zucchini, so this recipe is the one that you need to throw it all together and create something so divine. Essentially what you're doing is finely chopping all the vegetables and mixing it with flour and a couple of seasonings, and then frying it until crispy and golden in a pan. And then I like to top mine off with a crispy chili oil fried egg, just to round everything off really nicely, and so you can dip the pancake in the runny yolk. It's so good. I think cabbage, spring onions or scallions, carrots and zucchini or courgette work really well, but you can really use any vegetables here. You could throw in potatoes, aubergine, green beans, anything you want, anything that's in your fridge, throw it in, it's delicious. Coming in at number 4, we have my emergency dumpling soup. Now, I almost always have a packet of frozen dumplings in my freezer because they're so quick and easy to cook, but this is one of my favorite ways to eat them. It truly couldn't be easier, and it's just a great recipe to have in your back pocket for when you really don't know what to cook. Similar to the pancake, you can kind of use any vegetables or dumplings you have in, so you can adapt this based on what you like or what you need to use up. And it's also a really great soup for when you're feeling a little bit under the weather, because it has a beautiful rich broth that brings cozy comfort, lots of nutrients, and if you add the chili oil, then a little bit of fiery spice, which is always good to kick a cold. Coming in at number 5, we have my kale, salmon and sweet potato salad with a creamy lemon and garlic dressing. I was a kale denier for so many years because so often it can be tough and fibrous and bland and just pretty horrible to eat. That can still be the case if it's not prepared correctly, but here we're roasting the kale, and that softens its fibrous nature, but also the little frilly edges get really crispy and delicious. And then when that's tossed with the creamy garlic and lemon sauce, it just turns into the most beautiful salad. And this is coming from somebody that doesn't love salads. They have to be really good. And this one is really good. Roasted sweet potato brings bulk and substance to keep you feeling nice and full, but it also adds a really nice soft sweetness to this dish, which pairs really well with a slightly punchy garlicky dressing. But you could totally use a white potato if that's what you have in as well. Coming in at number 6, we have my creamy green linguine. In a way, this linguine changed my life. It was the first recipe in this series to take off on social media, bringing new people and new opportunities into my life. It is an exceptionally simple recipe that uses the pasta water to cook both the pasta and the greens, and then you use that pasta water combine it with a carbonara-esque sauce with cheese and egg to create the silkiest pasta sauce you'll ever try. I've retested this and changed it since its original conception, and I can't promise that it'll change your life, but I can promise that it will be delicious. At number 7, we have my pulled satay chicken salad. I rarely eat the same meal more than once in a week, but when I created this recipe, I ate it 4 times in 7 days, and I've come back to it again and again since then. This is the salad for all salad skeptics, myself included. This salad is not weak, limp, or lifeless. It is full of texture and flavor. It is hearty and nutritious, but most importantly, it is satisfying and delicious. The real flavor comes from the satay dressing. It's got peanut butter, lime juice, soy sauce, sesame oil. It is full of flavor and I love it. You can also use this dressing on so many other things as well, so it's just a really great recipe to know. At number 8, we have my fish finger fajitas. Fajitas are a classic family night dinner, and here I've not only made them single serve, but I've also simplified the process to make them sheet pan fajitas, which means you only need 1 tray to cook everything. Fish fingers work so well here, and again, they're just a great thing to have in the freezer for when you're not really sure what to cook and you don't want to go out and buy a load of fresh ingredients. All you have to do is lay the fish fingers on top of some spiced onions and peppers, pop it in the oven for 20 minutes or so, and you're done. In this recipe, I also serve it with a cherry tomato salsa, which brings vibrance and freshness. Finish it all off with sour cream, wrap it up and enjoy. At number 9, we have my coconut poached meatballs and rice. This fragrant meatball and rice recipe is based on something that I initially created 4 years ago. This is a new version of it that keeps it one pot, of course. But when I was looking back at the original recipe, it really reminded me of all of the feelings that I had at that time. And I just think it's such a beautiful thing that food can do, how you can taste something and the flavors can transport you back to another time and another place. But even if you don't have attachments to coconut rice and meatballs, I still really recommend that you make this dish. It uses a Thai green curry paste, which is one of my hero ingredients, something that brings so much flavor with so little work. It kind of does everything for you. And then the meatballs and the rice are poached in coconut milk, which is again one of my favorite ingredients ever. It's all finished off with fresh herbs and crispy chili oil, and it's just a flavor bomb that is so satisfying. Then finally, my favorite, number 10, is my single serve apple crumble. Now, I know what you're saying, apple crumble is not a dinner recipe. And to you, I say, why not? I'm not gonna stop you. That's the joy of eating alone. You can eat what you want, when you want, and no one can tell you otherwise. There is a reason apple crumble is my favorite dessert of all time, and this recipe is the creme de la creme, if you ask me. The perfect mix of soft fruit, a slightly stodgy center, and then a crisp, crumbly topping. I insist that you serve this with lashings of warm custard, always. So there you have it, my top 10 20-minute meals. If you give any of them a go, then let me know. I would love to hear what you think. You can find all the recipes either on my website or in my cookbook, or both. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and let me know what you want to see in future videos.